A quick look back at the year that was 2016. Best social statement. Colin Kaepernick quickly became one of the most polarizing figures in the country as he ignited a movement by sitting, then kneeling during the national anthem as a method for protesting the killings of unarmed African American men by police as well as other social injustices. While the then backup quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers needed to explain that his protest wasn't meant to slight the U.S. military, he brought attention to issues that concerned many and sparked a national conversation. The bold move demonstrated that often apathetic athletes still possess such power if they are willing to risk the fallout. It not only inspired other NFL players to engage in various forms of protest but provided fuel for athletes in various other sports on all levels to make similar statements. NFL playoff picture: Packers-Lions showdown could be play-in-game worst blunders to undermine a social statement. Kaepernick should have been more strategic in following up his protest after getting the eyes and ears of America, not to mention the support of the 49ers, who donated to organizations addressing social justice issues. Yet here are three things that Kaepernick did that didn't help his cause. 1. Wearing the police as pig's socks. 2. Wearing a t-shirt with the image of Cuban dictator Fidel Castro, then coming off as misinformed and insensitive when it was called into question. 3. Failing to vote on election day. Even if he didn't like the choice between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, he could have engaged in the process nonetheless. There were other candidates for posts lower on the ballot, and other issues that he could have used his vote to support. Best example that the NFL draft is an inexact science. Dak Prescott was a fourth-round pick by the Dallas Cowboys, selected 135th overall, or 134 slots after the Los Angeles Rams christened the draft by choosing former Cal quarterback Jared Goff. Now Prescott, flanked by fellow wonder rookie Ezekiel Elliott, has a Pro Bowl selection on his resume and currently shares the NFL record with Ben Roethlisberger for most victories, 13, by a rookie quarterback after replacing injured Tony Romo. What did so many teams in the quarterback-starved league miss about the Mississippi State product? Even the Cowboys made attempts to trade up to draft Paxton Lynch, then Connor Cook, which proves that sometimes the best moves are the ones that you don't make. Cowboys Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott want to play Sunday vs. Eagles. Worst footage from a Hard Knocks moment, the signature moment from the premiere episode of HBO's Hard Knocks. Training camp with the Los Angeles Rams was coach Jeff Fisher on a rant, declaring, "I'm not going 7-9. Fisher was right. He didn't go 7-9. He was wrong, too. The Rams fired him in early December when he was 4-9, robbing him of the chance to go 7-9 and ending a weird saga that included a contract extension that wasn't announced by the team until days before his firing and a spat with franchise great turned critic Eric Dickerson. With his 165 career losses matching Dan Reeves for most in NFL history, Fisher's dismissal did spare him from setting the coaching record for futility. Best comeback: Steve Smith was set to retire last year but didn't want to go out on the sour note of a torn Achilles tendon. Now, having proven that he can still get it done at 37, notching the 1,000 catch milestone and, well, sending his oldest kid off to college, number 89 said Wednesday that he's 89% sure that Sunday's game at Cincinnati will be the final one of his remarkable career. The Baltimore Ravens star will be missed for his grit, fire and memorable remarks like those uttered in 2014 after he dusted his former Carolina teammates, "I ran around those boys like they were schoolyard kids." Citing business decision, Bills bench Tyrod Taylor in favor of edge Manuel. Worst double standard: Cam Newton seemingly gets blasted more than any quarterback in the NFL without drawing penalties, despite the league's focus on safety and head injuries. It hasn't helped that Newton has status as an MVP, an active community servant or even a fashionista with his unique game day costumes. Nor has it helped that Newton called Commissioner Roger Goodell or publicly declared that he doesn't feel safe on the field. The no calls on Newton have gone on for years, while other quarterbacks seem to draw flags when a defender breathes too hard on them. There are enough examples, like Newton taking multiple blows to the head in the season opener at Denver, and the October game when Arizona Cardinals lineman Calais Campbell crashed into his knee in the pocket, to fuel the notion that Newton doesn't get the proper respect and protection from officials. Needs. 2. Stop. Best free agency spending spree. New York Giants general manager Jerry Reese sought to upgrade a defense that ranked last in the NFL in 2015 by guaranteeing more than $100 million on free agent deals to lure 3 players: defensive end Olivier Vernon, D-tackle Damon Snacks Harrison and cornerback Janoris Jenkins. Looks like money well spent. The Giants are in the playoffs and the 11th ranked defense sure has Dallas number. The Cowboys' only 2 losses came against New York, which has had answers for Prescott, Elliott and Dez Bryant. NFL coaches hot seat rankings, who's feeling the most heat now? Worst free agency spending splurge. Yes, Houston has a problem when it signs Brock Osweiler to a $72 million contract, with $37 million guaranteed, and now the quarterback is on the bench. The Texans went after Osweiler, who had limited experience in Denver, because he was the best quarterback on the market. But money doesn't always solve problems. When Tom Savage stepped into the lineup, he became the 8th quarterback to start for the Texans in Bill O'Brien's 3 seasons. Best coaching debut. Adam Gase has lived up to his billing as a hot, rising star in the coaching ranks. The Dolphins, 10-5. Are in the playoffs for the first time since 2008, overcoming a 1-4 start. And the running back Gase delivered a message to by leaving him home for the season-opening trip to Seattle. J.I.J. is now just the 4th player in NFL history to rip off 3 200-yard rushing games in a season. Draft maneuver to second guess. The jury is still out on whether the Cleveland Browns made the right decision by moving out of the 2nd slot in the draft and passing on Carson Wentz. The early returns are not good, as Wentz, he beat the Browns in his NFL debut for the Philadelphia Eagles, looks the part of a legitimate franchise quarterback. Meanwhile, Cleveland is still trying to determine whether it can salvage Robert Griffin III's career. Sure. The Browns have a stockpile of picks, including 2 in the top 10 of next year's draft. But until they land a star quarterback, they will be linked, if not haunted, by what might have happened with Wentz. Ranking the Week 17 games, with playoff spots and draft position on the line. Worst contract dispute. The stalemate between the San Diego Chargers and first-round defensive end Joey Bosa lasted until August 29. Which kept him out of training camp, the preseason and the beginning of the regular season. After he got hurt once, he finally hit the practice field. So much for the rookie wage scale ensuring that every top prospect will arrive on time. The sticking points in this dispute involved payout of guaranteed money and offset language in the event that Bosa is cut before the end of his contract. When Bosa got into the flow, it was evident that the Chargers needed him. With 9.5 sacks in 10 starts, he's the difference maker he was projected to be and probably the front-runner for Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. Best rebound from Deflategate. Tom Brady missed 4 games while serving a 4-game suspension for his alleged role in a conspiracy to keep footballs underinflated for the 2014 AFC Championship game. Now he's the front-runner for NFL Most Valuable Player honors as the Patriots, 13-2, match the Cowboys for the NFL's best record. Worst NFL investigation. Ask Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker James Harrison and Green Bay Packers defensive stars Clay Matthews and Julius Peppers. They never failed a drug test but were implicated nonetheless in a probe relating to performance-enhancing drugs. Ultimately interviewed, after prolonged NFL versus NFL sparring on the issue, and eventually cleared along with retired quarterback Peyton Manning, the case lingered for months as the NFL followed up on seemingly flimsy allegations by a questionable source in a documentary.